monster in your ears, boy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Texas Sports World. I'm your host, Ethan. And I was going to do this. I was going to start this after the Texans game, which is on TV right here. But with the Texans being down 31-7 with in the fourth quarter, with showing no signs of life, CJ just threw a second pick. I think that's the second time in his career he's thrown more than one in a game. So that's awesome. So because it's the most pressing of the two matters, obviously we will get into Arch's first start. But because it's what I'm watching right now unfold on my television right here, we got to talk about. There's a couple of things. There's a couple of things with this Texans team that we need to talk about. Okay, coming into this year. Okay, coming into the year, we thought that this was going to be a Texans team that had a chance, like the Super Bowl window was open. I know, obviously, 16-0, 15, like you're going to lose a game or two in the NFL, a game or three. It's just what's going to happen. But it's the fashion in which you lose them and it's the fashion in which we just got ran out of Minneapolis, right? Like what's happening, right? It's the way it's happening. And because here's the thing, coming out of the first two games of the year, 2-0, you're thinking, okay, we got a good start. They weren't great games. They were C+ games, but you're just trying to get your feet under you. The starters didn't play a whole lot in the preseason. CJ didn't play a whole lot in the preseason. They're just trying to get accustomed to each other, if you will. We're 3 weeks in, and there's just so many uncharacteristic things. I mean, I guess actually no. I guess it's not uncharacteristic for Laremy Tunsil to be able to have 4 penalties on one drive. It felt like, how many? There was 2 plays of 20 plus or 2 plays of 15 yards, pass plays for first downs. One of which I know for sure was on third down, and he was lined up too far in the backfield, or he got called for holding, or it was false start. It was just across. I mean, there was one drive where I think it was 4 out of the 5 linemen got a penalty on him. I mean, if there's one knock on D'Amico's teams and the Texans the last 2 years, they have just been so undisciplined. So undisciplined. At what point is Laremy Tunsil and Titus Howard a detriment to this offensive line and this offense? If they can't even wait for the ball to be, you're literally 3 feet away from the ball. How do you even move early? One time, sure. Everybody makes mistakes. 2 times, sure. Tunsil's up to 9 pre-stat penalties this year. 9 in 3 games. We're talking about 3 a game. Yeah, that's not all Pro Bowl, top level left tackle. I don't care. CJ got sacked today. CJ's been under pressure. He's been running for his life all day. As I say that, with 9:19 left in the fourth quarter, what just happened? CJ gets hit for a sack. This is a Minnesota team that's playing without Dallas Turner, that's playing without Ivan Pace, their star linebacker. This is a Minnesota team that's playing with our players, man. They're playing with the players that were literally here. They have like 5 people on their team that were starters on our team last year, and we're getting beat 31-7. But I thought we brought in all this talent, though. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, this is ridiculous. 3 sacks for 30 yards. 3 sacks for a loss of 30 yards. By guess who? Guess his name. Let me guess his name. And another flag on Tunsil. False start. I mean, it's happening in real time. It's real time. John Grenard has 3 sacks today. Meanwhile, his counterpart can't seem to stay in his rush lane. We need to have a lot of conversations about this Texans team, and I know I'm coming off a little heated right now, but yeah. I did. Kellen, he's one. I've had him on a show once or twice, and I didn't waste no time. I can't this is. It was pathetic. It was pathetic. That's the only pathetic is what we just put out on the field right now. And look, you might not be wrong. You might be right. about the Vikings being the best defense in the league so far, but so is our offense. Our offense is supposed to be one of the. We have three guys on our team would be wide receiver one, and 20 of the other teams out in this league, and we can't put up points. I mean, 31-7, and now it's what, 4th and 18, and we have to go for it on their side of the 50. We get it to Derek Bagumboale out the backfield, and he gets stopped 5 yards short. I mean, this is just like it really is just ridiculous because, like I said, we have three wide receiver ones on this team, and it took all the way till the middle of the second quarter for you to even took all the way till the third quarter just to get Nico Collins involved. You're the guy who literally leads the league in yards. It took you a quarter and a half to get him the ball. I mean, at halftime, I called Isaac, and we were going to do a show this morning, but we ended up not doing it. And so I called him at halftime, and I asked him. I said, "No, he asked me. He goes, is Bobby Slowick overrated? Is he overrated?" I mean, this is a question that I didn't want to think about or talk about at the beginning of this year. I didn't want to I thought he was getting head coaching position. I thought he was going to come in and it was just going to be chop wood, if you like, come in, you're going to do your job. I thought it was going to, but it's just it hasn't been that. And now we're looking at a 31-7. We're talking about a 40 ball, dude. A 40 ball. You're gonna sit here and tell me this is a Super Bowl team who just got a 40 ball dropped on them by a washed Sam Darnold and a hurt Justin Jefferson? Really? Unbelievable. Pathetically unbelievable is what it is. And we had to go to a triple not a double, a triple pass in the second quarter, followed directly by a fullback dive. Really? You had to get that deep in your playbook just to get some yards? This isn't the 86 Bears, man. This isn't a Minnesota. Like, I get it. Flores is a manipulator with his coverages. He shows one, does another. I get it. He's tough. I'm not. But this is an offense that's supposed to be better than this, and I don't care that we're missing running back one. We should be able to go 5 wide every single play with our weapons, and it shouldn't be a problem. And maybe that's me being naive, because obviously you're talking about a year two, and are we talking about a sophomore slump for CJ? And maybe this is all too exacerbated for week 3. But like I said earlier when I started this video, it's the manner in which it's happening. I mean, we're getting ran out of Minneapolis right now. They're going to go down here and score, and it's going to be 38-7. 38-7. I mean, guys, what is unbelievable. And to go back to is Bobby Slowick overrated? You know, this is why is it not? And here's okay. Listen, I love this. I love the Kyle Kubshanistani offense. It's fun to watch, and when it works great. But I don't do. Why are we? It feels like we're trying to force a square into a circle, or whatever. Whatever the saying is, it feels like you're trying to force something. Maybe we just don't have the offensive line or the guys to do it great. Okay, why are we continuing to run this zone scheme? And it either, like, the zone scheme and this offense feels very boom or bust. We're either going to go drop 50 or drop 7. Not literally 50, but you get my sentiment. That's what it feels like right now. There's no there. It's either it's CJ. If CJ's off, if CJ's not having a good game, we're fucked. I'm sorry to be so blunt, and this is a family. This is supposed to be a family, kids friendly show, but that's where I'm feeling right now. Let's see, what do we got right now? 5 minutes, 20 seconds, 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4. And they got their backup running. I'm I'm flabbergasted. I really am. And shout out to the Texans fans that are in Minneapolis. I see a couple of them in the crowd. You guys stuck it through, and we're to get 40 dropped on us. That's great for you guys. Let's see. We got let's do a little play-by-play here. Sam Darnold drops back to pass over the middle to a wide open Justin Jefferson, but he drops it on an out route. Wide open Justin Jefferson. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that correctly. It is a wide open Justin Jefferson. That's happened way too much this game. There was never like it feels like there was the game plan for the Houston Texans defense was to play everybody, shut everybody else down, and then want Justin Jefferson to beat you. Hey, newsflash, he's the best receiver in the entire league. I don't know, maybe put some hands in his face. Like, did we not learn our lesson last year with Amari Cooper? Like I talked about this in one of the last episodes. Did we not learn our lesson with Amari Cooper? And now, granted, he doesn't have the same game, but statistically, but he could have. But he could have. He dropped. There we go, 34-7, and there's still 4 minutes left. Chances are they're going to get the ball back, go down, score another touchdown. Like, I'm just being super pessimistic right now when it comes to this game. And there were things I didn't want to believe. There were things that I was thinking and feeling about this Texans team that I didn't want to believe. I thought it was just early season struggles. We get it going. It's fine. Maybe it still is that. It's week 3. Maybe it still is early season struggles. You might be right. But we haven't played a single great game yet. There hasn't been a moment in any game. There hasn't been a moment, not even the whole game, just a moment where we took control of the game. Not a single time did we take control of the game in any of the last 3. Okay, Caleb Williams in Chicago, they could have beat us. Okay, in Indianapolis, they could have beat us. We are. I think we're 5 points away from being an 0-3 team. We're a 2-1 team with a scoring deficit. A big one. Because what, 25 or what? 26 points? 27 points. 27 points. And we're talking about a 20-point deficit in our first 3 games. I mean, God, this is. I hope it's early season, and I hope I'm just a few beers in, and it's not all that it's cracked up to be. But at the end of the day, you find your recipe and let it do its thing. Right now, we're trying to do too much. We're trying to do too much. What were y'all doing last year, man? The offense was never this bad. Okay, never is a strong, but this is last year in week 3 is when we started picking it up, man. This is when we started finding our rhythm, and now we can't do anything. We can't run the ball. Granted, we're down 2 running backs, but Cam Akers is no scrub. He won a Super Bowl, dude. And he came from the exact same offense that we're running. So it's not like he has to learn a whole new thing. Not exactly the same, but the landmarks are the same. So why 20 of 31, 215, a tutty, and 2 picks for CJ Stroud today so far. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. Oh, wow. Wow. We are waving the white flag. Davis Mills has come into the game with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left. Ran out of the building. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, Indianapolis goes up 21-9 against Chicago. Awesome. Sam Darnold looking like Aaron Rodgers out there. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I'm about done with that. I think I'm ready to move on to the we're going to try to make this about a 30-minute video because I got to go do some stuff with my lovely girlfriend. We're gonna go have lunch and stuff. So I gotta get all this out of my system so I'm not in a terrible mood around her and all her friends. Okay, so uh just to wrap it up on the Texans. Texans will lose this game, fall to 2-1, still lead the division, so it's not the end of the world. But as of right now, granted they go down and score. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's just finish this game out. Davis Mills back to pass, throws it to Diggs. Diggs makes a move, gets down to about the 32-yard line for a first down. So it's 1st and 7 Texans with about 250 left, down by 27. Don't call it a comeback. We got a first down. Diggs went 9 for 90 though. Davis Mills out here throwing back-to-back first downs. There we go. Okay. Listen, let's just get out of here with like a little bit of pride, man. Let's get out of here with a little bit of, because that's what's so crazy to me. Last week we were fighting people on national TV. I'm talking. He got it from Aziz got it from a pile and straight up dead Roshan Johnson. I mean, we're talking about a Caleb Williams that literally was looking for the bat cave. But we got 1st and 10, and it's a sack by none other than a nobody, naturally. So 2nd down, 2:10 left. They're going to take it down to the 2-minute warning. It's a warning. And why do they do that? That's so weird. In college, they got to call it a 2-minute timeout. What even is it? What's the difference? Why not warning, timeout? What's the difference? What are we talking about? Okay. Yep. I'm about done. So Texans are going to fall. They're going to go to 2-1, still lead the division. Everything's still in front of them. It's not the end of the world. I know this, but there's still a lot of question marks. And Bobby Slowick has a lot of questions to answer because he called a horrific game. Horrible. Pathetic on everybody. Top to bottom. Offense, deep, everybody. There was no energy. There was nothing. No play, no big plays, no momentum movers, nothing. Pathetic. Horrible. And they better figure it out soon. Now, moving on to Arch Manning. Logan James. This man called a triple pass in the 2nd quarter. And then I have never seen a fullback dive in real life. And we follow up a triple pass by a fullback dive? What do you want him to do without his starting running back? Okay. Good question. You have 3 wide receiver runs. There's no reason you should have to even rely on a running back. Having a running back when you have the receivers you have is a luxury. It's a luxury. I mean, okay, but we can quibble on if Dameon Pierce is worth it, you know what, in this offense anyway. We can worry. We can, if that's a discussion we need to have. I mean, he's done nothing in 2 years. He's been here and he's been hurt when he is here. Like, as far as I'm concerned, he's RB3 right now. If you can't get on the field, you've done nothing to keep RB2. Cam Akers has played. Absolutely. Yeah, we did. We did get beat up. We did get beat straight up. For sure. I agree. There was no energy, there was no passion, there was no anything. I mean, we acted like that crowd was super crazy, and I know they have a loud stadium, whatever, but CJ Stroud's played in front of 100,000 in college. That's what's so great. Like, everybody puts a big deal about, oh, he's got to play in front of this crowd. Every major college player has played in front of 110,000 players, 110,000 people. You know, the thing, so the thing about CJ, and it felt like he just wasn't getting a lot of depth in his drops. Like, it felt like he was standing right behind. Like, it didn't feel like they had to go very far to get him. Like, it felt like he took like a small drop, and then he'd hope they'd run around him, and he would just step up. Why is it? What happened to the 7-step drop? What happened? I know that's usually out of under center, but they do run under center. So, but if you're standing 3 yards back in shotgun, maybe get another 5 after you take the snap, do another 3 or 4 step drop. Change that. So that's a good thing about what Steve. So somebody asked Steve Sarkisian in a press conference last week about the way that Arch does his drop back, and he mentioned about how he turns his shoulder and like moves his body around. And what Sark said is it's a way to manipulate pass rush lanes. Pass rush lanes. It's a way to not give the defensive ends and rushers a landmark where as long as they get there, they know you're going to be there, and they don't got to worry about you going anywhere else. It makes them have to think, oh, where's he at? It keeps their eyes up, head up, body down, or like body's not going full speed because they're trying to figure out where you're at. So there needs to be a little bit more of pocket movement. There needs to be a little bit more getting back on your drops. Be more aware. And maybe in a game like this, why was there not more quick game? Why was there not more, slants? Why was there not more? I mean, even Minnesota with Justin, they kept running that little speed out. Every third down, they run a little speed out. Or they'd stretch it with Justin Jefferson and have another receiver sit underneath them, and then they would just throw it to him right there. Logan says, my thing is we knew we weren't going to go undefeated. I'm not mad that we lost to it. Like, yes, that's what I said earlier, before you got here. It's not the end of the world. It's not. We knew we were going to lose a couple of games this year, 1 or 2 games. That's fine. But on paper, this is a better Texans team than them. And they didn't beat us because they were better than us. They beat us because we just didn't play our game. Like from the jump, there was no there was nothing. There was no life. CJ comes out, throws a pick on the second pass of the game, throws a pick. They go down, score. Then we punt. Then they go down, score again. Now you're already down 14-0. One mistake without that interception, because our defense played really. I know the score. Speaking of, we're gonna go. Let's see. It's 2nd and goal now. Let's see. Can we score? Can we at least get a score? No, we cannot. Awesome. 2nd and goal. Yes, but to go back to yeah, you're right. It's not the end of the world, and maybe this Minnesota team goes on to be 12-4 or whatever it is, 12-5 or whatever the number is now. 17 weeks, 18 weeks, I can't remember. But at the end of the day, I feel like we could have beat this team. And like I said, it's not that we lost. It's the manner in which it happened. It's how we lost. That's the biggest tell. That's the biggest thing for me. It's how we lost. We lost, and it just wasn't. It wasn't a game that I expected to see on. I honestly, to be honest, I didn't do a prediction video or article this week, just because I just didn't do it. If I'm being honest, I got lazy. Didn't do it. My bad. But I 4th and goal. I turn around, it's 2nd and goal. I come back around and it's 4th and goal. I don't know what I was talking about. Okay, so let's go to officially this time. I'm done with this crap. I'm done with it. We're going to forget about it. We're going to talk about a win finally. We're going to talk about a thrashing, and we're going to talk about fun. Let's talk about fun. Can we just have some fun, please? But first, I need a drink. Okay, so let's have some fun. So, Arch starts his first game as a Texas Longhorn, and it was exactly how I expected it to be. It was exactly what I told people it was going to be. It was exactly what I thought should happen, honestly. It was exactly what Yes. It was exactly what needed to happen. Comes out, throws, I think, under 50% or just above 50% completion. Those 2 picks. But he has some brass cojones on him. I'll tell you what. He's not afraid to take the deep shot. He's not afraid to let it rip, if you will. His connection with Ryan Wingo is going to be super fun to watch. Logan mentioned last night when I was talking to him, or when we have a little group chat, he was talking about Arch Twingo is going to be Cultiship. Same thing. So apparently we got stopped on 4th and goal because I just got the 34-7 update. I'm done. No, you're right. We're done. We're done with that. We're done with that. It's fine. Just throw it away. Leave it over there. I don't want to talk about it. So yeah, he looked pretty good. I would say his timer in his head, the timer in his head, obviously isn't all the way there. But he never gets under duress in the way he operates in the pocket. Obviously that means he's going to take a little bit, maybe a few more hits here and there. So might want to clean that up. But he didn't give me frazzleness, if you will. He made some really impressive throws. This defense, the Texas defense is going to be legit. I think we're going to have to start have a conversation about, is it elite? Is it an elite defense? And we'll find out within the next 3 weeks. The next 3 weeks, I mean, Mississippi State, granted, they just lost their starting quarterback to an injury, but it's still the first SEC game. Still a lot of I'll be there. Yeah, baby. Me and Logan and Pops is gonna be there. It's gonna be a fun time. Fun time. Oh, here we go. I didn't see your question. Okay, fine. We'll go back and talk about the Texans for a little second. Logan says, I thought our defense played better in the second half because Jefferson didn't have a reception. Now, the offense is very stagnant and didn't find our number one guys enough. Is having 3 number ones going to be a problem this year? That's a good question. I think we're definitely starting to see a dip in Tank Dell's targets, yards, receptions. Considering that Stephon Diggs just went 9 for 90, so now that's what doesn't make sense to me. That's what, because it felt like they just had everyone covered. It just felt like we couldn't get separation anywhere. I don't know if that's a too many. I don't know. It's weird because naturally you think the more people there are to cover, the less people are going to be covered, right? We have 3 guys that are out there that can do great things. They can't double cover all of them, so how do you get them the ball? I mean, somebody's got to be open. And that's when I go back to the, is Bobby overrated thing? Is Bobby Sloak overrated? Because it shouldn't be that hard to scheme these guys into space. Just get them in space. Just get your playmakers the ball. Stop trying to do all this extra stuff. Stop trying to do these triple passes and fullback dives and, running the ball on 3rd and 8. Like, you already were down a running back. We should have went into, I don't even know what 5 personnel, no running backs a lot of time, like open. I don't know. But to answer your question more, to get into it, let's take it piece by piece. The offense was stagnant. They just couldn't get anything going. Anything that got going there was a flag. There's just so many penalties. So many, especially on Tunsil, man. Tunsil, Howard, and Scruggs, and they all had penalties today. So that also didn't help. It really was a combination of things. It was a combination of, we didn't have a run game. CJ was under duress, and our offensive line couldn't hold their water. Pretty much that simple. I don't think it'll be a problem, hopefully, going on into the year, having 3 number ones. But I do think there won't be a certified. I mean, Nico is our certified number one right now. But by the end of the year, I think it's very equal share. But equal, not exactly. It'll definitely go Steph, Nico, or Nico, Steph, and then Tank. If you can get Steph and Nico, if you can get Tank 30, 45 catches this year, that'd be great. Yeah, you get Nico about 75, 80 catches this year, and then you get, Steph with another 35, 40, 50 catches this year. I'm not sure if that math works, but that sounds right in my head. Now, I think I was really surprised, though, because Juice Scruggs didn't play last year, and last week he was playing this week, so I figured he was going to have a good week. I figured it was going to be a good game for him, but was not. They struggled. Cade Stover really struggled. He got ran through. Like and it's the same thing to kind of compare and contrast. Last night, Jared Gibson gives up a sack on Arch Manning because he got ran through by a you know Yeoman row player. Kind of the same thing. Cade Stover, rookie, playing a grown man, gets ran through. It just happens. Young players make young mistakes. That's just what happens. And maybe this team is still young. And maybe this team, maybe this team is just still really young on offense. And they just and without and honestly, I think the offensive line is what's going to need to be addressed as soon as possible. I don't care that Tunsil is a number one left is one of the top 10 left tackles in the league. I don't care that Titus Howard thinks he's a top 10 tackle in the league. I don't care that Shaq Mason thinks like all these guys are past their prime, and that's just what it is. Okay. We need to get younger and we need to get better and we need to get smarter on the offensive line. Right now, we're dealing with a whole bunch of I'm not outside of Tunsil. I'm not sure a single one of our offensive linemen would start in 90% of the league. Our offensive line is really bad, and I think that's where the problem is. I do not think our problem rests with our fact that we have 3 wide receiver ones or the fact that we have a lot of skilled players. Having the skilled players shouldn't be the problem. Winning cures all. If we won this game, we wouldn't be talking about if having 3 number ones is a problem. So that tells you that you can't blame that. If you would have blamed it if we won, or if you would have talked about it if we won, then you can't talk about it when we lost. So the offensive line, we were talking about the offensive line the last 2 weeks when we won. So it makes sense for us to talk about it now that we've lost. So that's kind of how I'm feeling about. All right, Logan, are you done with the Texans? Do you have any more? Because I do need to get on to college. We're about 30 minutes in. I was hoping to get out of here at 30. I still got to go on to the other stuff. Are you good? I'm gonna give you approximately 20 seconds to get your questions in while I take a drink. Okay, your 20 seconds are up. So we went in. I touched on the Arch stuff. I think that he's gonna be. Oh yeah, Logan was at the game. Maybe he can give us some inside information about the UT game yesterday. Okay, so obviously, the 2 interceptions were. One of them was definitely one of those. What you thinking there, young man? It was definitely one of those. The second one could have gone either way. I think you just put a little bit too much mustard on it, bounced off the receiver's hands, landed in the DB's hands. It happens. Tib Giroud's football. Can't really be too mad about that. But I would like to see that completion percentage and the amount of because we knew coming into this game that Quinn was the intermediate to short guy, and Arch was the deep guy. I mean, it showed. Arch was like, F it, they down there somewhere, and he would just let it rip, and then he'd find Isaiah Bond or Silas Bolden or Matthew Golden or Ryan Wingo. You know what I mean? So that was a good sign. It was a good sign to see Arch not he was never rattled. He never seemed like he was worried about it. He kind of just looked like it was next snap, even on the mistakes he made. But I think we can chill. Now. Are we good? Quinn is essential to this team if we want to win a national championship. Quinn is quarterback 1. This is Quinn's team. We need Quinn back. I can't put that Arch will be good. These reps that he had this week will be good. The reps he's probably going to get next week will be good, and it will matter. But we need Quinn Ewers to win a national championship, and that was very evident last night. Very evident. Quinn is going to give you the 12, 13, 14 play drives. Arch is going to give you the 6, 7, 5 play drive, 5, 6, 7 play drives. That's kind of where they're at in terms of their maturation. Quinn always says that Sark says you can't go broke taking a profit, which means sometimes you don't got to. At halftime, Sark said on TV on ESPN, Logan, I don't know if you heard or saw it, but on halftime he said, sometimes it's unacceptable. Sometimes the plays just aren't going to work, and it's okay. And that kind of speaks to you can't go taking a profit. There's no reason to force those balls in there. Okay. Either take the sack, go down, live to fight another day, or throw it away. There's no need to try to make a play when there's more of a chance a play gets made going the other way. So that's pretty much all I have to say on Arch, if I'm being honest. I feel like it's pretty obvious this is Quinn's team. We need him. He will be back. He'll be fine. Arch is going to be fine. All that is still true. Two things can be true. Quinn can be a national championship quarterback, and Arch can be a national championship quarterback. Two things can be true. They may happen at different times. The timeline may be different for both of them, but they still having a backup quarterback like that is unmatched. It's really good that Quinn was able to get in and get some. And oddly enough, Arch's first pick, ULM. Quinn's first pick, ULM. So, they live and learn. The stat line between Quinn and Arch was almost identical, down like all the way down the stat line. But when Arch played when Arch played ULM and Quinn played ULM in their first start, the stat line was almost the exact same. So there's still a lot of growth. And Arch is going to be fine. Quinn's going to be fine. But and honestly, I think there's even a chance Quinn plays next week. Did you see how he was lighting up everybody in the damn huddle? I mean, he was out there. His chest and stomach, this is all fine. Because that man was like, and screaming. Everything's fine. He was out there exerting a lot of energy for somebody who got a hurt oblique. Okay? So I think he could even play next week. Even if it's just for 2 drives, let him get his body warmed up, oiled up, let the machine get oiled up. You don't want to get stagnant. You don't want it to be 3 weeks before he plays and you walk into OU. Now, granted, we're going to get into OU just right now. Speaking of OU, Jackson Arnold officially benched. So, but I heard on the Twitter sphere that it was going to be that Jackson Arnold was going to be and Weigman was going to be a Heisman Trophy winner. They were going to lead their team to fucking somewhere, which is crazy. So Arnold is benched. OU loses to Tennessee. Tennessee could have won by 3 touchdowns if they wanted to. OU has a lot of questions. Their defense got exposed. Their offense got exposed. They didn't look good, and they got a lot to work on before they go into Red River. That's for sure. Michigan over USC. So Michigan goes into USC, or USC goes into Michigan, and holds their quarterback to less than 40 yards, or less than 40 yards, or something like that. Still managed to lose the game. That's crazy. So can everybody relax? Can everybody calm down with this whole that Michigan win was BS? Okay, they just beat a pretty good USC team that was back. Apparently, they're supposed to be better than last year. So they have a ranked win now, and we have a ranked win against them. So does that mean we made that Michigan defense look pedestrian? We made their first round picks on the defensive line look like undrafted. Not literally, I'm exaggerating and trolling, but you get my point. It did not look like nothing was. I wasn't worried about it. We looked really good against Michigan, and they just whipped up on USC. And now I think, do we have to start having a conversation about Lincoln Riley? I mean, I get it. They're still a good defense, but they clearly have weaknesses. They clearly have ways you can beat them. Why weren't you looking at? Why didn't you turn on our film, for God's sake? Like I said previously in the episode before this, both teams schematically, they're not the same, but they're similar. The results of the plays are similar. They like to do similar things, get guys in space, motions, shifts, all that stuff. So I think we can all calm down. The Michigan win is a big deal. In the Big House is a big deal. And I think we can put some respect on that win finally. Mizzou, this was a surprising one. I wasn't last night, so I was writing my notes for the game for this pod, and I meant to put Mizzou double OT versus Vandy, and I put Mizzou double OT versus Candy. But let me tell you, that wasn't sweet. It wasn't sweet. So, oh, here we go. Hold on, let's go back. Is Miller Moss that good? Honestly, he looked really good against against LSU earlier in the year. So I was surprised that they kind of struggled the way they did on offense. You know, he was getting hit from everywhere. The pressure was everywhere. But I don't really put that on Miller Moss. I think Miller Moss is a good quarterback. I think he's going to be a, you know, Stetson Bennett level quarterback for in the NFL, meaning he's going to be a backup. I don't think he's going to be like a first round pick or anything, but I think he's pretty good. You know, obviously he's, you know, going to a really good school to learn how to play quarterback. Okay, but anyways, Mizzou double OT versus Vandy. That was an impressive. I mean, obviously Vandy doesn't pull out the win; they miss a field goal to lose. But I think, you know, we got to start talking about what's Missouri. You know, what is Eli Drinkowitz and Missouri got going on over there right now? They got Luther Burden, Theo Weiss, so they're pretty good at receiver and quarterback. But are they them though? You know what I mean? Are they good? We'll find out in the next couple of weeks. The ending of the Colorado game was absolutely insane. Insane. This man threw that thing up to God and he answered his prayers. I tell you what. Okay. That catch by LeJontay Wester in the back of the end zone on a Hail Mary as time expires, and Shedeur is getting absolutely blasted at the same time, is insane. The way I mean, now granted, it's against Baylor, so like but it was still a really good game. It was a really good game. It looked like Baylor was going to run away with it. They fumbled right there going in the end zone. Game over. What a loss. That's a really tough loss. Shedeur doing his thing. He's been really impressive, I must say. You know, after you know, struggling a little bit, I felt like maybe not the tape tells, or maybe not the numbers, but I feel like he struggled a little bit to get into his groove. Travis Hunter, I mean, come on. The guy's ridiculous. Like, I wasn't a fan, but like, come on, man. The guy's crazy. Just playing both sides of the ball. He's just crazy. So quick touch on A&M. Speaking of when I was talking about Jackson Arnold, Connor Wegman, Marcel Reed, he might take that job and not give it back, if we're being honest. He has more big play ability. He has more maneuverability. He slipperier. I don't know. Slippery. He's slippery. And I think Wegman got in over his head a little bit. And now, granted, A&M struggled yesterday with what's his name? With Marcel Reed at quarterback. They only win 26-20. But we'll see. We'll see who we end up playing when we go to College Station. I have a feeling it'll be Marcel Reed. I think this injury from Wegman may be a little bit overblown, if you will. I think there may be some other things going on behind the scenes, and there's just not a lot of trust or confidence in him. And Marcel Reed is winning games, so you can't take him out. And then we'll wrap it up with the end of the, the beginning of the weekend. I believe it was a Thursday or Friday game, the Nebraska-Illinois game. Isn't it just such like Nebraska to lose by one score? I mean, such a Nebraska way to go down. And they and I realized also in my last video I said Kyle McCord was at Illinois, and it's not. He's at Syracuse. Illinois is, I can't remember his name right now. But yeah, it's not Kyle McCord. I made that mistake last week. But anyways, so Nebraska is looking really. I think Nebraska. I said this, at the beginning of the year. I called it. I said it that Nebraska is going to be the team that ruins somebody's season. Didn't happen this week, but they're still good. They're not going to be in the top 25, but they're still a good football team, and they're going to play spoiler to somebody for sure. That's what I think is going to happen. I think that overall, this was a pretty solid weekend of football. Obviously, the Texans decided to ruin it, and I'm going to go have some fun to forget about it. So before I get out of here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this channel, on this video. If you can even comment afterwards, hey, listen, I comment back. Okay, if you think I'm wrong, let me know. I'll tell you why I'm not. So make sure to follow on TikTok. I post little snippets of this stuff on there, but also I do little other videos too. Just kind of like short little videos. So make sure to check that out. And like I said, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate everybody for watching who's gotten this far, about 45 minutes in, about 15 minutes longer than I expected it to be. But thank y'all again for watching, and I will see y'all probably tomorrow for a preview of next week and a discussion about just a number of other things that are going on. So thank y'all again. Have a great rest of y'all's day. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later.
I ain't with that beefing on the net. Tell me what's next. Tell me what's next. I can't listen to the hype. Wanna know that you've been mixed with lies. Love you like